Uganda as a country is known as one of the best fashion capitals in both the East and Central African parts of this beautiful continent, Africa. But of course, with the decline of the very many fashion events that we've been having, we cease to be number one when we speak about the best capital when it comes to fashion in East and Central Africa. Tonight on the show, we want to discuss the different events that we saw first before the pandemic.
And then the pandemic made it worse.
Yeah, it made it worse. We had quite a number of fashion events, lots of glam, but now things are changing. I don't know why.
I think so many things come into play. Designers need to tell us what is happening. The organizers for those fashion shows need to tell us what is happening. Of course, the major excuse or the major reason has been COVID.
The world is open.
Yeah, the world is open now. So what's happening?
We want to have that discussion tonight on the show. And of course, don't forget this episode is brought to you by Geisha Naturals, made for African natural skin.
Yes.
My name is Rama Kizito, and of course to do that with me tonight is the beautiful Nicole Estella 77. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
You look super amazing.
Yay.
Something
different.
In orange. You look super amazing.
Thank you.
You'll tell us who dressed you.
I will definitely.
And of course, sticking to our conversation.
Yeah.
Fashion events in our country. But I want us to start the conversation with the ones that we know about that happened even before COVID that we don't see today.
We'll talk about the Kampala Fashion Week.
Such a big event because the guys that used to do production were actually the producers of New York Fashion Week. It was called LDJ Production. It was that big, so I don't know what's happening now.
When you're talking about this, people are wondering who was behind those big things. Well, it was Gloria Wavamuno,
yes,
I believe. But then, like, we last saw Kampala Fashion Week. What year was it? Was it 2018, 19 there? And we really miss Kampala Fashion Week. We hope something comes up because, I mean, this was like a big... I'm thinking if they consistently, forget about the pandemic period, if they resumed, it would have been like something that is growing and growing. And people that didn't know about it would definitely get to know about it now.
Yeah, but I would think it has to make business sense for the organizers.
They have money.
Do we really have the market that will support such a big fashion show?
I think we are ready for such big shows. I mean, if South Africa does it, who are we not to? You get it.
They have the budget because one of the biggest fashion shows in South Africa, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, it's sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. We need to give credit to people like Anna Winter.
Yeah,
they've set the pace, fighting. I'm the best.
That's the thing I don't understand about Africans.
Do you think we are ready to actually go to these sponsors?
I think I applaud about, for instance, ASFA's Abraham Salam Fashion Awards. Very well organized. He gets a team prior, like months before ASFA's. Right now, I'm sure they are preparing, and before they were preparing a few months back. So what they do is that they get a team of people who are knowledgeable about this thing. Now, the vision bearer is Abraham, a young man. You get it. You could pass by him on the street and think, nah, what could you possibly do? So that's what we need. I had the honor to host the red carpet of 2018, and it was my very first big red carpet to host. You get it.
And that is when we first met.
And that is the first time we met. And the funny thing is that I did not know much, but they were willing to teach me that this is what you do. You need to know, you get to know the names. I had a period of prepping and practice before I got on the red carpet, and I think I aced it. You get it. So even with these fashion weeks, you may not have people who are like so experienced. You may not need people from New York who've done New York Fashion Week. Believe in the Ugandans around, train them, teach them, show them what to do, and then do the paperwork, get to sponsors. It's about being organized, and that's why I picked a leaf from ASFA's. These are Ugandans.
Absolutely. And it brings me to another event that used to grace the scene, the Kampala scene. That was quite professional, is the Uganda International Fashion Week. And it was organized by Santa Anzo, Arapapa. It's an event that used to bring very many models and designers from all over Africa as well. I remember that time David Lale came as well for Uganda International Fashion Week, and the production was epic. It was at Victoria at Serena Hotel. It was very beautiful. It has models from all East African countries.
What do you think is the reason that makes them fail to have the consistency?
Well, I think it comes from the reason for the event. I know so many people that create events to massage their egos.
Oh, okay.
I know it's me, and I need to do something big. I need to show these other people
that I'm
I
up to
can
something.
do better. Exactly. Now, when you come with that kind of thought, it is quite hard for you to be consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Secondly, I would think it's still the market. Most international fashion shows, what happens is if they launch their collection, say for example, Balenciaga has launched a collection, Nike, Miu Miu, you are going to find these pieces on the website ready for purchase.
Yeah.
Now, it is different in Uganda.
Yeah.
People want to have a collection on the runway, and then I can't buy immediately. It is on order. Or sometimes people, these designers don't even give us an option to do that. They want to make you see all the beautiful pieces on the runway, and then you actually have to go to them. They don't prompt you to buy. If I'm coming on as a sponsor, I'm looking for a win-win situation.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't have the right data of fashion consumers in our country.
Yeah.
Now, without that, sponsors need numbers. We
True.
don't have that.
Do they care how many people are buying your product? I'm thinking they care
actually
more.
do. They actually do, because you see, fashion is psychological also.
Very true.
If I'm Mercedes-Benz and I want to tap into a certain audience, say for example, South Africa. If you look at the crowd of the people that attend South African Fashion Weeks, they're the A-listers.
True.
These are wealthy people
Yeah.
that can actually afford to buy a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, so
I want to tap into an audience that can support me.
But there are brands that anybody can use. Just anybody of any...
MTN has tried to do something, even here in Uganda. It has MTN Pulse. They support fashion. And last year, actually even during COVID, they had a program, and Santa Anzo was mentoring all the applicants that came in the fashion department. But I didn't see the real value.
I think we're going to fail to appreciate our fashion industry if we compare ourselves to the second world countries and the first world countries.
But we need to benchmark.
I think we're doing well off compared to some of these other third world countries. So on the other hand, we need to appreciate these designers. I've seen girls in Joram Modeling Agency here in Uganda, and you look at them and you're like, yeah, she's good. But the time she works Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, you're like, is this the same person? You get it? The money changes everything. Her whole aura is just totally different. She's like an international supermodel, but it's an international supermodel that came from Uganda. So it shows that we have very little to work with. We have a lot of potential, and probably if we had what they have, we'll be doing much better, because people are passionate here about fashion. It starts
with the support that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, there was a time the president of Uganda attended a fashion show that was organized by Santa Anzo and Silvio Wari when they were still tight. And the president attended a fashion show.
Yeah,
he
that's
came
a big
backstage.
deal. That's a big deal.
Now, what spoiled all this? It is actually these big players. I'll be honest.
Fist bumps.
I'll be honest with you.
I don't know if we just do not have the capacity to handle greatness.
It's greed.
People start to fight.
Greed is the best word to use.
And then when they start to fight, they just mess up everything. You're talking about Anna Wintour earlier. This lady is a person that she's a very big name in the fashion. Like, she is, like, the Kardashians wish she could invite them for the Met Gala. Like, every big celebrity in Hollywood, she is that person. She is, but then you do not see her. She's a star maker, I should say. She is so big to the point, like, I don't know if you realize that she actually invited the Queen to London Fashion Week.
Wow.
She is a major name in the fashion industry, but like, to a regular person, they do not know her. You get it? But you realize that these are icons who are not afraid to push other people to shine. And I think we need to learn that same attitude and that same culture, that, hey, if you're great, it's okay to let others shine. If you can't do everything, let's all share. Let's all make others great. It's okay, you'll still be great in your own way.
Absolutely.
Kudos to Joram. You are doing a great work in the fashion industry.
Absolutely. It brings me to another event that was organized by Sylvia Wari. It was called the Forever Love Fashion Show.
Sylvia Wari, we need to see you in fashion again. She's actually the brains
behind
please.
Janzi Awards. So I don't know why she chose, of course there were arts, but I expected to see fashion at the forefront.
Yeah, I think she's still
of
passionate
those
about
awards.
fashion. Because you know,
I don't think so, man. And she's such a nice lady. She's
Yeah.
such an awesome, sweet soul when you speak to her. But I think we need to have a meeting. We need to bring back.
we need to bring her on the show. We need to ask
exactly.
her.
Now we are getting to you. I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to call you, and yes, we can have on the show to be able to have this discussion with her. And of course, there were so many other shows in the country. I mentioned earlier on, I think last month, the late General Eddie Tumini was a fashion designer. So he used to have shows in clubs, at Sheraton, every week. Then, of course, we have people like Sean Indaura of Elite Magazine. He used to have shows at Cayenne almost every 2 weeks.
Wow.
I don't know what's happening. I know, Sean, you're watching. There was a fashion show in Tanzania called Swahili Fashion Week. We used to go for that every year. But the only difference is, for it, it's still happening in a country like Tanzania, where one would think, well, this one's a little bit...
we are better than them when it gets to fashion.
Exactly.
Just say it bluntly.
I know, but it is still happening. And of course, we had Paris Fashion Week, where we had very many girls from Uganda grace the runways working for big brands. Let's go in for that quick breather, and we'll be back with more fashion for you. Welcome back from that quick breather. As we promised you guys, we have more fashion for you. But don't forget, this episode of Star Product is brought to you by Geisha Naturals, made for Africa natural skin. Check out both variants, the Moringa and the black soap. Of course, Nicole's is the black soap for some reason. I don't know.
I love the black soap, y'all.
Yeah, before we went in for a breather, we were talking about Swahili Fashion Week.
Yeah.
This is an event that made me feel like a star. And for some, I did it once.
Give us your experience, Rama.
Swahili Fashion Week used to bring together all the models in East Africa and Africa, South Africa, all the big names that you know about at that time. The Joki Silas, the Patricia Laloyo. She was a Ugandan, but she was based in South Africa. They used to bring together all these models in one place for a single show.
It's about organization.
Organization as well. Fashion
Yes,
Week
talking about
well.
Swahili Fashion Week, we definitely have to talk about Paris Fashion Week that has just been happening. We've seen the memes, we've seen the runways, we've seen the showcases, we've seen also so many Ugandan models walked Paris Fashion Week. Anyhow, so Paris Fashion Week was started in 1973, and it was the very first one. Of course, we know that there's fashion weeks world over. There's Kampala Fashion Week even, but the big four fashion weeks is Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, New York, and London. So those are what they call the big four. The rest of us, really, I don't know what we are, but
something really stands out when it comes to Paris Fashion Week. I don't know, for some reason. What really stood out for you for this season at Paris Fashion Week? And of course, me, the most memorable one was I think the Balenciaga show.
Yes.
Yo, I don't know what.
It was a balance, and you know the funny thing, some people actually didn't know there was Fashion Week in Paris until the Balenciaga show.
That is the power of PR.
Amen. You know, the thing is that Kanye started the Balenciaga show, and the thing that people need to take away or know is that this Fashion Week, of course, is not a one-day thing. It's a week thing, like it's called Fashion Week.
Venues, actually.
And there are different venues. There are over 100 shows. In particular, there are 104 shows, different stages, different days. There's so many brands. There is Chanel showcasing. There is Balenciaga showcasing. There is Yves Saint Laurent showcasing. How some people got to notice that it's actually a fashion week was through Balenciaga. Because they had this extremely, of course, they come through with all this controversy.
Do you think it was a Kanye West idea to have that kind of set?
It wasn't a Kanye West idea.
They were literally walking in
They were walking. It was a mad show. They had
like mad show, not mad, but it was a mad show.
M-U-D.
M-U-D.
There was mad hips in the whole area. And I mean, so everyone got talking about it. I have reservations. Of course, some people call it art.
That is all art.
Yeah, people call it art, but why do you have snakes? it's more on the goth side.
It's inspiration, because you
more on
see,
the goth
as
side.
creatives, we pick inspirations from very many things.
And these models have blood on their mouth. It's like you've eaten something that has blood, and the blood has just stained on your mouth. So, what are you picking inspiration from, really?
What
are you picking inspiration from, really?
You see, fashion is hair, fashion is clothes, fashion is
Why
makeup.
do you have blood on your mouth?
Makeup.
But hey.
We had very many girls from Uganda,
Yes,
from
let's
General Model
talk about
Management that actually walked Paris Fashion Week. There was Adit Priscilla, who is also making it
Big.
I think all the big blogs, all the big websites actually writing about Adit Priscilla. I don't know, for some reason they say she's the next big thing.
They're mostly like South Sudanese
Adit,
girls.
we had Achol Priscilla, we had Majida, we had Lucia Clement, we had Jamia Hoth, and three of these, this is actually their first season, but they're already working
Paris Fashion Week.
Fashion
Let me
Week.
ask you, Rama, why do you think that we have several modeling agencies in Uganda? Why do you think it's always Joram that is getting these big gigs? Because I mean, these other modeling agencies, I want to give them the benefit of a doubt that they have the girls as well. Yeah.
How do you scout? You need to understand that as an agent, this is the thing that is needed on the international market. Joram does a lot of research from way back.
So in short, he's putting in the work. And
He's
doing
putting in
his
the work.
homework. So anyway, back to Fashion Week. I was excited to know that Victoria Beckham showcased.
After
Finally.
a long time.
Finally.
Yeah. There was a time she refused to dress Beyonce, and it was all over media. And from that time, I actually love her.
And of course, we got to see Kristen Stewart, the Chanel girl, as usual. She, like Kanye West started the Balenciaga show. She started the Chanel didn't do, like, she didn't walk.
Yeah.
But then they did a small video, like she's coming from a theater, watching a 1961 movie. And I feel like Chanel really took a big bet on her.
And it worked. She's
Here
back.
she is,
And
yeah.
of course, we can't stop talking about Paris Fashion Week without talking about that moment. I think it's a revolution in the fashion industry. We are seeing a collaboration of technology, of fabric.
Yes.
That was crazy. It
Yeah,
was the first time
the
it
Bella
happened.
Hadid
Exactly.
dress. Talk about a beautiful body. She's a work of art. They sprayed the body on, the dress on her, and they cut the slit after. Wow, technology.
And
It looks
this
like
is
an
actually
already
sprayed.
made dress.
Yeah, but that is new technology. It's a new technology company. They use liquid cotton. So what happens is, if it gets to your skin,
It solidifies?
It solidifies and turns into real fabric.
And they were talking about how it feels a bit like sweat, a bit like it's not uncomfortable in the skin. Who would have pulled that off better than supermodel Bella Hadid? This was by Coperni. It's a brand for those that have not really heard about it. Of course, everybody knows the Gucci's, the Chanel's, and all of that. So not very many people knew about Coperni. And then this was a statement, like everyone is talking about them right now.
They introduced themselves.
They introduced themselves on the world market. What a way. And booking Bella Hadid is no small thing. And actually talking about Bella Hadid, what do you think about Bella Hadid in comparison to Kendall Jenner? Because so many people compare them.
Kendall Jenner has been there, and of course she's a Kardashian, but she's the humble one. She's the most professional one. And she has a beautiful walk. She has a beautiful
You think
face
Kendall
as well.
Jenner's walk is all that?
I
feel like
it is
she
okay.
walks-
It is okay.
No, honestly speaking, I feel like Kendall Jenner's walk
Nicole,
is
you're
like...
expecting so much because she's Kendall Jenner. That's the problem.
Let us get value for money. Kendall Jenner is the most paid model on the planet Earth right now. Bella Hadid is now more booked than Kendall Jenner, but somehow Kendall Jenner is more paid than Bella Hadid.
It's not about how many times you get booked. It takes me to our last part of tonight's show.
Yeah.
What do you think is the future of fashion weeks?
For the next one, they're going to really, brands have to do a lot of work.
It breeds creativity.
Yeah, it breeds creativity. We're going to see more tech, we're going to see more goth, because of course that is, it's like the world is just headed that side. You see snakes, see babies in bags, you see blood on people's mouths, so people are going to go
You
probably...
really hated that show, but of course...
I mean, I feel like it was very creative, but it was also very weird in a way. And it's so funny. By the way, it wasn't just the only one. The debate was on social media, like, if like, if you don't think Balenciaga's show was really weird, then you're really weird. Like, so many people were actually talking about, like, if you think it's okay, then you're actually not okay yourself.
I think I'm not okay. What are the lessons that we need to bring back home?
Consistency. Let's have more consistency here. And then 2, we need to have more creativity. We need to see things that we've not seen before. You've seen these jokes on social media, especially on Instagram, where people are carrying buckets on their heads and fans, and then they're saying fashion weeks these days, fashion shows these days, and they're just walking. You've seen those, yeah. So it's basically people trying to say that these guys are just way too creative. They'll just get anything, a bucket, a laundry bin, a fan, and they'll try to turn it into something fashionable. So we need to see more of that. We need to see our fashion shows really be out of this world.
Absolutely. What I would say, we need an umbrella body as all stakeholders of the fashion business, where we actually collect data of designers, makeup artists, fashion consumers, influencers, stylists. We need to get to that level because, okay, I will say that there's a Kenyan designer that collaborated with Supreme, that collaborated with Louis Vuitton, but it is because of how ready we are. So we need to get to that level. Then, it is not bad for the industry. And of course, I was dressed, we always talk collaborations, so I was dressed by myself at Easy Apparel and Iconic Underground. They're on my steps and my beautiful denim jacket. You can check them out. They have very, very beautiful pieces. And don't forget to follow me as well at Tramakizito, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and keep watching the NTV Star Project every Friday at 7:35 p.m. The beautiful Nicole Estella 77. My first time seeing you in this kind of piece. Who dressed you?
Yes, I was dressed by Swagative. You know how you look at an outfit and it's kind of out of your element, but you're like, no, I have to get it.
But
this guy is, thank you. This guy is super talented. I think he's really good with streetwear. Swagative. Swagative, find them on Instagram, on Facebook. Just type in Swagatives, SWAGGATIVE. And of course, Iconic on my feet, on my shoes, on my steps. I love the shoes. They're very comfortable. Find them on Senana Building on the basement floor. Also follow them on social media. On Instagram, it is iconic_UG. Also follow me on my Instagram, Nicole_Estella77. Facebook, Nicole Estella Matovu. I love you guys so much. It's been an amazing show, Rama.
All right. People didn't want us to leave, but we gotta go.
Yes.
All right. Other than that, want to wish you guys a very amazing weekend.
Yes.
Ciao,
Adios.
ciao.